Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to Tapping Tuesday. If it is your first time here, welcome. If it is not your first time, welcome back. Welcome to the final day of October for 2023. Wow, this year's it's here. We're at the end of it. I hope that you've had a good week. I'm excited to spend this next hour with you. Now, if this is your first time here, I'll give you a quick explanation of what we do. We jump right into EFT techniques, which is tapping, if you've heard that as the description of what we do. I don't go into how it works or what the 48 different clinical techniques are. We have a channel with videos that explains all of that. That is EFT Universe, if you want to go check that out. Here we just do it. And what that looks like is anything that is in your way that you would like to release or something that you would like to receive, but you feel like there's a block there or a gap there, or it's just not possible. All of these things are really effectively dealt with through this process called tapping. Now, if you've never done it before, don't worry. Just follow along with me. You'll have it down by the end of our session today. If you would like to participate, just put in the comment section in the chat whatever it is that is in your way. And it could be something like, I feel depressed. It could be, well, I feel really heavy in my body, but I don't know why. It could be really descriptive of a singular event, a singular person, past, present, a potential future fear. All of it applies. So I will do my best to incorporate it all. And again, you'll see that as we go along. If you would like to participate, but it feels a little too vulnerable for you to put your name out there attached to what it is that you would like to tap on, you can always email me. Now, I need it at least 24 hours in advance, so I won't see it for today. But I can see it for next week, and my email is at the top of the chat. I will also speak it to you. It is amanda@eftuniverse.com. And then I can introduce it and leave your name out of it. But that way you'll still get a good exercise of how to potentially approach it. I do have a couple of emails that I received that I would like to present to the community to be included in our tappings today. I will read those after we get grounded together. But first, I'm going to say hi. Hi, Richard. Yes, happy Halloween. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Mo. I'm glad you're here too. For some reason, I left this slanted on my desktop. There we go. Hi, Bonnie. Okay, very cluttery and I've held on to everything. Okay. Hi, Kylie. Hi, beautiful Kylie. Okay. Hi, Anne. Wonderful. I'm so glad you're all here. Thank you for spending this time with me. Okay, let's go ahead and get grounded. And we'll do that just with a real simple exercise. I'm going to have you picture different body parts, your body parts. And I just want you to think about where they are. You don't need to check and see where they are. Just allow your mind to focus on that part of your body. It's a really gentle and calm way to become more present in the moment and in your own body. So, having said that, let's go ahead and take a breath as deep as what feels comfortable for you. And now I want you to think about where in space the top of your head is. Where is that? If you were to draw two lines from the tops of your ears to the top of your head, where would that space be? Just the very top of your head. Where is that right now? And how about the tip of your nose? Try to feel where the tip of your nose is. Where is the tip of your nose? Is it kind of pointy? Is it round? Is it bigger? Is it smaller? Does it point up? Does it point down? Where's the tip of your nose? And how about the tops of your shoulders? Your left and your right. Where are the tops of your shoulders right now? And remember to breathe. And how about your spine? From the very back, top edge of your neck, all the way down the center of your back to the very tip of your tailbone. Try to feel all of those vertebrae down the middle of your body. Where's your spine right now? And how about your hip sockets? Those curvy little sockets that your hip bones sit into. Where are those in your body right now? And remember to breathe. And how about your knees? Let's do the backs of our knees. Let's be specific. Where are the backs of those knees? Are they bent together? Are they straightened out? What direction are they facing? Where are the backs of your right and your left knees? How about your inside ankle bones? Where are those? Or if your feet are facing straight forward, they're kind of looking at each other. Where are those inner ankle bones on your left and your right? And how about your big toe? Where is your big toe right now? And go ahead and take in another breath and let it out. I'm going to set a quick intention for our time together today. It is my intention that as we are gathered here in this community that we've created for the next hour, that even though we are around the world and we're having different experiences in life, that us coming together right now creates a unified purpose. And there's value in that, and there's strength in that. And you being here for that makes a difference. Your presence matters. And what doesn't matter is whether or not you're in a good frame of mind, if you're tired, if you're overwhelmed, if you're stressed. What matters is that you're here, and that truly does contribute in a meaningful way. And that as we tap together, that community, that purpose, that value is going to strengthen, and we are going to strengthen ourselves and each other. And it's my intention to lead this in such a way that when you leave this tapping session, you feel better, that you've received at least a part of what you came here today to get. And let's take one more breath. Okay, I'm going to read the emails that I got, and then I'll read the chat again to see your new comments, and then we'll get started on tapping. So our community members that wrote in over the last week, I have two here that I want to share. The first person chose to stay anonymous, and what they're wondering about is how to address, let's see, I am learning how I am affected and working to overcome my challenges. But the guilt that I feel for passing many of these things on to my kids, who are now adults, is really eating at me. I see in them things that I have passed on. I want to help them, but feel I must help myself first, and then it becomes a mess in my head. So, wanting forward progress with guilt and just heaviness from the past kind of holding them back. Our second email is from Paula. So, if you received benefit from either of these shares, if you would just offer a thank you in the chat for these people, that would be appreciated. And Paula said she wanted to tap about the spectrum of emotions involving grief. So I love this because it's a synchronicity, right? It's along the same line. In Paula's case, it's a grief of lost time, of the childhood that didn't get to happen, grief of missed opportunities because she didn't have the needed support. Also, that she couldn't have the strength or courage to help herself to make changes, guilt, anger, frustration, depression, denial, sadness, numbness. I need to be able to process this grief and to let those emotions come to the surface and acknowledge them, accept them, to let them out. So we will be focusing on how to move forward when things are holding you back. That's very real. And feeling stuck by that is very real, and it is in no way a sign of uh, weakness or not being able to figure something out. It's something else entirely. So I'm excited to get into that with you. I'm going to read what's been said in the chat real fast. Do Hi Anya. Hi Donette. Donette. I hope I'm saying that right. Releasing the whole contents of my house for downsizing in less than 3 weeks. Woo! Oh, I will be sending you energy for that, Mo. Hi, Bonnie. Cluttery and held on to everything. Okay. Um, Karen and Paula, hello. The second place to Halloween costume contest. Well, congratulations. Oh, I'm glad that you're feeling the excitement and the joy of that. Hi, Dr. Scott. Okay. All right. So a lot about forward movement. Love it. Okay. Let me think for a second how I want to jump into this. I'm going to start with I can't move forward. We're going to take it from a negative stance, and you'll see why as we go into it. Especially if it's something that you want, but underneath that you're like, but I can't have it. Starting with the point of that underlying statement is usually really empowering because it's asking for a voice, right? So we give it one. A lot of times we don't give it to it because we're afraid it's right. So we don't want to give it energy. We don't want to admit to it. We want to push past it. But in tapping, it's really beneficial to start there. So I'm going to start tapping on the hand. And if I don't move around to the spots like you want to move, please move at your own pace. I stay mostly on the hand because I don't want you breaking your focus of where you are emotionally to see if I've moved spots. So please go at your own pace with tapping. As I consider this situation, and I feel like I can't. I can't move forward. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even if, as I consider this situation, and I don't feel like accepting myself at all right now, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now, feeling like I can't move forward brings up a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts. I choose right now to release those and to hold space for me to be curious, for me to have a conversation, to see what else I might be able to hear. And as I give myself permission to do this, I deeply and completely accept myself, holding space. I can't move forward. Holding space. I can't. Holding space. Moving forward. Holding space. Releasing judgments. Holding space. Holding space for myself. Holding space for what I want. Holding space for what I hope for. And even if right now I'm not sure that any of that's possible, I'm not asking that question yet. So if I'm holding that as a pass fail right now, I give myself permission to release that and to just be curious, holding space. A conversation with myself. I wonder, all of this that I feel is holding me back, why is it holding me back? Or why is it holding me here? Why does it have so much power? Why does it have the ability to do that? Well, maybe it's because I feel like I've made mistakes. And a good person would make up for that first before being happy, before finding joy. If I've created something bad and I can see that, I can see it for other people, or I see a place where I could have been better and I wasn't, then it's my responsibility as a good person to make that up before I can be happy. Whether or not I believe this is true, I hold space to find a solution where I can be happy and I can make things better. I hold space for a solution where I can heal and maybe that can help other people heal as well. As I consider allowing myself to heal at the same time as I offer these new tools, these new perspectives that I'm now aware of to the people that I love, to the people that I care for, I wonder what might stop me from doing that. Maybe I feel like, well, they won't listen to me until I've proven it. They won't give it a try unless I show them that it has value. If I am judging someone else's response that I really don't have much control over, I give myself permission to release that. Even if I feel like, no, I can't release that because if I release that, then I lose the perception of control. Whatever reasons I might have to push back on that, I give myself permission to release it right now during this conversation as I'm exploring. If it's uncomfortable, if I feel like, what I come up with here isn't really going to work, I can pick it back up. But for right now, for this conversation, I give myself permission to trust that if I have seen value in something and the person I'm sharing it with is ready for it, that they'll see value in it too. And that it's okay if we learn together. And maybe what I'm feeling is, well, I need to be more. I need to be more perfect. I need to be better at it. I need to be able to answer questions. If my expectation for moving forward in this new tool set is that I have to be perfect at it before I can apply it to myself. I offer to myself the perspective of allowing myself to learn that maybe it's okay if it comes step by step. And that's true for even if I've reached a point where I'm happy, even if I've reached a point where things feel really good and things have the potential to just keep getting better. Maybe I don't have to filter through this pain anymore. And maybe I don't know what that feels like yet. Maybe all I've known is pushing through pain. And I got really good at it, but I don't have a muscle yet for working through happiness, through trusting and everything getting better and better. It's okay if it feels new. It's okay if it feels clumsy. It's okay if it feels vulnerable. Maybe I can give myself permission to learn this new space as well. But what do I do about all of my past mistakes? What do I do about all of these past experiences that hurt so much, that weigh me down so much, that I can't redo? And maybe I don't even want to redo them because maybe they just turn out the same. But how do I find a way to move forward without dragging all of this behind me? Moving forward. Moving forward with my past. Moving forward without my past. Moving forward like a good person. Moving forward with judgment. Moving forward without judgment. Moving towards what I want. Releasing what I don't want. My future. This is a really big and complex question. I don't even know where to begin, even if I do feel a space to hold for myself that it could be different. How do I even start that? Well, I wonder, when is the future? When is that? Is it right now? Is it right now? Is it right now? What if I allow myself to, instead of thinking about the whole rest of my life, I allow myself to focus on a little bit of the future, just a tiny bit of the future. Maybe I go in small increments of time. If I've given myself permission to learn, if I've given myself permission to try things, to be curious, if I also give myself permission to have small increments of time where I'm curious, where I'm trying things, that allows me to check back in and to see how I feel about it, to see if I've made progress, to see if I appreciate the outcomes, to see if it actually was possible. I can do that. I can't do that. Whether or not right this second, I feel like I can give myself permission to do this. I'm open to continuing the discussion for right now. Okay, so let's say I do that. I try things out for small periods of time. What does that look like? Well, maybe for me, it looks like the next 10 minutes. 10 minutes? That's not long enough to show anything, is it? Even if right now I'm uncertain that 10 minutes is a long enough time, I hold space to continue to examine this. Well, whether it's enough space of time, I could do something for 10 minutes. I believe I can hold space for 10 minutes. So let's see what could possibly change in that amount of time. Maybe for 10 minutes, I could allow myself acknowledgement. I could spend 10 minutes going, you know what? I am so much better off than I was 10 years ago. I can see how I've grown, how I've progressed, and I can see how I have the ability to reach for things that I couldn't before. And I have communities, I have support, I have understandings, all of these things that maybe I didn't know how to see before. And I can take 10 minutes to acknowledge that. But what would acknowledging that do for me? Maybe what it's about is showing myself that it's okay to focus on the positive. Maybe by doing that, I am flexing a new muscle. I am showing myself that it's okay for me to focus on what I've achieved. It's okay for me to focus on what I want. And it's okay for me to feel good. And it's okay for that to be my starting point. Because wouldn't it be true that if I'm starting something new and I'm starting something that's complex and potentially difficult and something that I've never done before, that giving myself ways of support and smaller steps of success makes the outcome that I want more likely? So if I allow myself to feel good as I step into it and trust that feeling good is going to have a positive outcome, and I give myself these boundaries that feel possible, whether it's 10 minutes or 2 hours or 2 days. I can choose increments that feel good for me. And maybe as I focus on these positive things and strengthen this muscle, when I have things that come back to me that are heavy, that are hard, that weigh me down from my past, I'll have new insights and I'll have new ways to hold my ground because I'll be flexing this new muscle. My new muscle, my new muscle of support, my new muscle of positivity, my new muscle of really achievable goals, my new muscle of clear intention, My new muscle of resolute focus on what I want. My new muscle of learning to trust myself in this new space. My new muscle of allowing myself the space to grow and to become familiar with this part of my journey. My new muscle of allowing the ease of these things to be the place that I influence from rather than my grief or my sorrow or my heaviness. And as I begin to engage these things, I'll learn what works for me and I'll learn what does not work for me. And I choose to acknowledge these things and to receive this knowledge and experience with wisdom and allow that to govern where I'm going to take it next. And it's okay if I try a lot of things to begin with. And it's okay if I try one thing and it works. I can trust that whatever feels good and whatever fits this new criteria is good for me. And that I can adjust it whenever I want. And as I allow myself this new space, I deeply and completely accept myself. Take a breath. So often when we get stuck in these spaces, it's because we fail to recognize we're learning and we're learning something new and we're in a new space that we haven't been in before. And that judgment can really get in the way. So I hope that that has given you at least some inspiration on how you can see a different way of looking at where you are and giving yourself that support and that positivity as you move forward. Okay, let me check the chat. Hi, Cedric. All right, that may have touched on what you brought up, Mo, but I don't know that it was as direct. Um, so let's go ahead and tap a little bit more clarifying in that direction. So if you're not looking in the comments, Mo has a very big task and not a very long time to do it. And it seems like Mo has a little bit of judgment um, for how this has become what it is now. So this will be something that you can apply to any type of peak performance where maybe you're feeling small, you're feeling not capable, you're feeling capable, but man, you don't want to. That it's foreboding. It's going to take all of your energy. It's going to really just be a negative thing because it's gonna take everything you've got, and you don't want to blow yourself out of alignment that much. And anything that fits along those lines. So focus on something that kind of fits that arena for how we're going to tap next. And I am going to go with this overwhelming task. Those are the words I'm going to say. So choose whatever words fit for you and replace that phrase with what fits you better. Okay, let's start here. As I consider this overwhelming task that I have in front of me, I deeply and completely accept myself. I do not accept myself. Even if right now I feel like not accepting myself at all, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. I accept all of my feelings. I accept all of my thoughts. I accept all of my emotions, no matter how negative, no matter how detrimental, no matter how blown out of proportion, no matter how much I don't want them. Right now, I acknowledge that they're here and I accept that this is where I am. It doesn't mean that it's what I want and doesn't mean that it's where I'm going to stay, but I do acknowledge this is very much my current reality. And as I acknowledge my current reality, when I consider this overwhelming task, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, now we're going to lean into like the judgment and the overwhelm of it. So we're going to get negative with it. Okay, just remember to keep tapping. Oh man, I've really done it this time. I have really bit off more than I can chew. Why did I do this? How could I do this? I know better. I feel ridiculous that this is where I am. And I've got no one to blame but myself. I mean, sure, I might be able to blame someone else, but this is on me. This is on me. And I'm so frustrated and I'm so overwhelmed. And it's not like I didn't know that eventually this was going to bounce against me like this. I knew. And yet here I am. So, yeah, maybe this is just what I deserve. Maybe I deserve to be feeling this way because I deserve it, because I should have known better. I did know better. I should have behaved better. I should have chosen different. There's so many shoulds that I could say right now that just I didn't. I didn't choose any different. So now I'm here. Even if I'm feeling some or all of that, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Why? Why would I choose to deeply and completely accept myself? Well, maybe it's because I have done the best I could. I have done the best I could with every situation that I've been handed that led up to this. And maybe it wasn't the perfect outcome, but it was the best that I had. And I genuinely have tried. Even if all I had at some of my tries was 16%, I gave it my full 16%. And I've been overwhelmed. And this has been hard. It's been difficult. It's not like I was dismissive or lazy or I was trying to make things hard for myself. At least I don't think I was trying to make things hard for myself. Whether or not I was trying to make things hard for myself, this is where I am now. And I give myself permission to focus on the present. This is where I am. And I do have this big, overwhelming task in front of me. So now what? What will I choose? I wonder, do I have a choice? Nah, I don't have choices. Everything that I determined is already set by my past. My past gets to choose my future. I don't get a say in this. Every mistake that I've made, every single choice that didn't work out the way that I hoped it would, everything that fell short of my expectations, that now gets to determine what this is going to look like for me. And I just have to go along with it. Hmm, so sad. Wait, is that true? No, no, that's not true. Of course, that's not true. I do have choices. But maybe I feel like I should be weighed down by my past. I mean, it's only appropriate that I'm weighed down by my past. I mean, you know, because I'm not perfect and I should have been perfect. Hmm. I wonder if I feel like it's appropriate for me to be weighed down and continue to struggle, even if I have a choice to choose different. Where would I have picked that up? Where would I have learned that that's the appropriate choice? It's not logical. It doesn't make sense to make myself have things be harder than they have to be. It must have been something that I learned somewhere along the way in my life. Someone taught me that I needed to have things be hard, or that because I wasn't perfect, that it was what I deserved was to have things be hard. Wherever this belief came from, I can recognize that maybe I need to look into that and give myself a break and release myself from that now. But as I consider things now, I give myself permission to unhook that, even if I don't have it fully worked out yet. I'm aware of it now, so I give myself permission to let that go from here. So if I no longer believe that I have to function through my past, I wonder, what could I choose that would feel good, that would help me in this overwhelming task? Well, what if I did some task triage and I looked at my timeline? I looked at the reality of what I really, truly, absolutely 100% have to have done. And maybe I look at the way in which I'm saying it has to be done. Of course, ideally, I would have it be exactly the way that I want. But is there something that could give? Maybe I give myself permission to not be as neat and tidy about things. Maybe I give myself permission to make it easier on this end, even if it's going to make it a little bit harder on the other side. Whatever I can do to allow myself support in ways that can make this overwhelming task feel easier, I give myself permission to start to explore those opportunities. And maybe I choose into them, and maybe I don't. But right now, I'm just going to explore my options because maybe by just exploring them, I'll come up with what sounds really good. So I'm not looking for a pass fail or a yes no right now. I'm just exploring my options. My options. My options that are available to me now. All of the options that I can consider now. Simple options. Ridiculous options. Options that I know I won't choose. I give myself permission to let all of them flow through my mind. These options, my options. Because even though in my past, I may have been weighed down by a lot of things, and I may have not felt like I had many options. I choose to see the truth of all of my options right now. And I give myself permission to choose the options that empower me. My options, my empowerment. And as I lay these options out and I see ones that really could work for me, I give myself permission to acknowledge that I've accomplished this and permission to activate help. Help for myself, help for this task to alleviate the overwhelm that I once saw. And I trust that as I do this, it truly will feel and be different as I accomplish this goal. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, take a breath. All right, Mo. I hope that's helpful. Again, sending you lots of thoughts and energy. Okay, checking back in on the chat. Oh, you're so welcome, Kylie. I'm glad. Hi, Donette. Lightness and moving energies. Yay. Okay, Paula is asking a question. Does EFT count also as a little self hypnosis we can do on ourselves? This is how they feel like, especially these intense ones. That could be a great way to describe it. I don't know all of the criteria of hypnosis, but what we are doing is communicating with our subconscious brain, which I know is the intention of hypnosis as well. It's just a more, I don't want to say direct route because it depends on how you look at hypnosis and EFT. That's subjective. It's just another way. It's another way of talking with the subconscious brain directly. So yeah, sure, you could say that. You're very welcome, Annette. Okay, well, that's everything that's been mentioned in the chat. So who's got something? What do you want to tap on? We've got enough time for one more thing. Yay! Okay, good. Be the fire. That's right, Dr. Scott. Awesome. Okay. Oh, yay. Oh, Katrina, I'm so glad that you made it. Your very first experience of tapping. I'm so honored. Yay. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'll wait just a few more moments and see if anything pops up in the chat as a suggestion. If not, I will just pick something and we will go from there. Doo-doo, doo-doo. I feel like I need to entertain you guys while I'm waiting. Okay, so I will go ahead and choose. Let's tap on feeling joy. Feeling joy through everything. Now, that immediately might feel like there's a pushback. Releasing anxieties. Okay, well, this will kind of sort of tie into that, Katrina. So, um, feeling joy is usually kind of encapsulated as, well, this is what I feel at the end of something, right? Well, this is what I feel when I've accomplished something. It's very much like a reward that we're given. And when people claim that they feel joy at all times, they're often looked at as a little bit crazy, or a little not in reality, and not really believed that they're being real or true to the moment that's being experienced. Because how do you feel joy when you're in grief? How do you feel joy when you're in pain? How do you feel joy when you're going through something terrible? And those are legit questions, and do you even want to feel joy in those moments? So let's tap on that and let's see. Okay. So let's go ahead and start tapping. As I consider the proposition to feel joy always, I have some things pop up in my mind where I don't know about that. Even though right now I'm not so sure about always feeling joy, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I have questions about this statement of always feeling joy, I hold space to be curious about it and look through it a little bit. Even though right now always feeling joy feels questionable to me, I choose to potentially be surprised as I think about it a little bit. I wonder, what do I currently believe about feeling joy? Where are my current parameters about where joy is appropriate, where joy is felt, where joy has permission to exist? Do I feel like joy only exists with itself and nothing else can exist at the same time? Do I feel like joy is a reward at the end of something? Do I feel like joy is an outcome? It's something that just naturally happens sometimes. Do I feel like joy is a higher state emotion, something that happens when I'm more in a governing standpoint with my energy and my emotions? As I consider where I currently hold space for joy, I allow myself to be curious about exploring where else it might be appropriate. I wonder, what would it be like if I did allow joy into other places in my life? No, I can't do that. That sounds silly and that sounds ridiculous. And if I felt joy at the same time as some other things, I wouldn't get as much done and I wouldn't focus as hard and I wouldn't try anymore. And it just doesn't seem right. Even if, as I consider where else I could feel joy, I'm feeling some pushback and some judgments. I give myself permission to release those. Maybe once upon a time, I felt like those were appropriate and those were necessary. But right now, I'm feeling curious. So I give myself permission to release all of those and just question it. If I don't agree with it, I don't have to change how I feel. I'm just curious right now. I wonder, what if I did apply joy to something and I did stop trying so hard? What are things that I might stop trying? Stop trying to feel joy through other people? Well, what would that give me? Maybe I would stop people pleasing so much. Maybe I would stop with little mild manipulations where I felt like I needed to get something from another person and I could just be happy. Maybe I could stop trying to be worthy and stop trying to be enough, and I could just feel happy, which maybe would feel like I am enough. Maybe it would already feel like I have value. Is it possible that those two things are connected? Sure, it's possible. Hmm, maybe then I could see feeling joy as healing, not just as a reward or something that's fun or nice, but maybe feeling joy is literally a healthy feeling, a healing feeling. Okay, well, If I go along with that for a minute, if it's healing for me, then that's positive. How could I apply joy in a healing way then? How could I apply it in a healing way towards when I'm feeling alone, when I'm feeling by myself? How could I apply joy to that? Well, maybe I could apply joy by the fact that I can feel emotions or the fact that I have a body. I could focus on other things. And it would be okay for me to feel my loneliness. I'm not trying to cover it up, but maybe I could give it a friend. And maybe that friend for my loneliness could be joy. Like in the movie Inside Out. I don't know if you guys have seen that, where there's personifications of joy and sadness. And maybe I just give my heavy emotion a friend, and joy can be that friend. That could be healing. I wonder, how could I apply joy in a healing way to grief? Well, first of all, I absolutely hold space for my grief. It's okay for me to grieve. But I wonder, is it also okay for me to remember why I'm grieving? Because I loved this person, this animal, this experience so much? Can I allow myself permission to feel the grief, but also feel all the love and all the joy and live in those moments too? And maybe I can give myself permission to step away from both of those if that's overwhelming and feel the joy of something simple, something in the moment that's right here. I could enjoy the curve of my fingernails. I could enjoy the tone of my skin or the warmth coming off of my cup of tea or the softness of the blanket that I have on my lap. Maybe I could find joy in something that's just really simple, that's bringing me comfort. Okay, I think maybe I am starting to see some ways that joy could be healing and joy could feel good. What about fun? What if I want to feel joy in like the woohoo kind of way? When is that appropriate? When am I allowed to feel woohoo? Oh, well, that kind of joy is only, at the end of things when I've earned it. Hmm. Hmm. But what if? What if I allowed myself some irrational joy, some irrational moments of woohoo, where I just choose to, I just decide to. And yeah, maybe it doesn't make any sense at all, but you know what it does do? It makes me feel better. And maybe it's just a moment of irrationality. I take 10 seconds and I'm just irrationally happy. But I bet I feel better for longer. I bet I feel good long after those 10 seconds. And then I'm smiling and maybe I'm laughing a little bit. And that could feel really nice, especially in the middle of something that doesn't feel as nice, that maybe feels a little mundane, that maybe is stretching on for a long time. Maybe moments of irrational joy can feel really, really good. And I don't have to let anybody know that that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'll share it, maybe I won't, but maybe I'll give it a try. And if I don't like it, I don't ever have to try it again. But maybe it will feel really good. And maybe I'll start to have more fun. And I don't see how having more fun couldn't bring a positive outcome. Feeling joy, feeling more joy in my life. Joy for healing, joy for comfort, joy for positivity, joy for fun, joy for myself, joy as a friend, joy as a companion, too. And as I begin to apply these curiosities, I give myself permission to acknowledge when I do enjoy it. And I give myself permission to apply it as often as I want to. And as I allow joy to hold many new spots in my life, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and take a deep breath. Yay! How was that? I hope that that felt really empowering and gave you some really good ideas of how you can bring positivity, other emotions too, into other parts of your life. Thank you so much for spending this hour with me. I've thoroughly enjoyed our tapping. I hope to see you again next week. Feel free to email me if you have questions. I also post a new video on our channel, EFT Universe, every Friday. Sometimes the video is to answer your questions. So you never know when your question is going to help everybody else. Thank you for being a part of this community. I'll be thinking about you. I love you. Mwah. I'll see you next week, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Bye-bye.